So if a man who has been emotionally entangled with his mother was to get to the point where he can see that he is out of balance, and then he spends far too much time doing things for his mother and not enough time doing things for himself, and he sees that he has been neglecting his own life and he has suffered as a result, he will have the need to draw the line with his mother and to start spending more time being there for himself and less time being there for his mother. And in the beginning, just thinking about doing this could cause him to experience a fair amount of guilt and shame, and he could experience fear and anxiety. And so the key will be for him to keep going, because although he may feel this way, it doesn't mean that him living his own life is the wrong thing. This will be the right thing for him to do. So just because his feelings will create the impression that this is not the case, this will be the right thing. And at this point, as he starts to break away from his mother could end up doubling down, and she could end up becoming quite controlling and using guilt to try to control him. And at this point, he could feel the need to revert to how he was before. And it could be even harder for him to stand his ground and to draw the line, because he will have only just realized that he is living in the wrong way. So he won't have done much or any work on himself, so he won't have much strength at this time to resist his mother. And if his mother does try to stop him from breaking away, it can seem strange, because this is her son and she should want him to live his own life. However, if she has been this way ever since he was a small boy, and of course he will have been neglecting himself for all this time, it won't really be a surprise, because this will just be what is normal. It will be what is expected from her. And when it comes down to why she would have the need to try to hold him back and to make him continue to behave in the same way, it can be due to, in part, a fear of abandonment. And so as he starts to break away, she can come into contact with a lot of her own fears. And so by forcing him or trying to force him to behave in the same way, she will be able to keep these fears at bay. And the reason why she can have such a strong fear of being abandoned is because during her early years, she was abandoned. And so not only will she fear being abandoned, she will have been abandoned, and what she fears, therefore, will have already taken place. And during her younger years, most likely, one of her parents used her to meet their adult and unmet childhood needs. And this would have stopped her from being able to receive the right nutrients so that she could grow and develop. And as she ended up being in an undeveloped state, she would have then, of course, most likely used her son to meet some of her adult and unmet childhood needs. And so this form of abuse, this form of neglect, would have been passed down from one generation to another. And as his mother was not aware of what took place, she therefore treated her son in the same way. And this would have taken place unconsciously. So it wasn't that she consciously did her best to undermine her son. This would have just taken place. And so both the mother and the son will have fears of being abandoned, and they will carry the pain of being abandoned. And so in order for his mother to let him go, she will need to deal with her own trauma, her own baggage. But there is a chance that she won't do this. And so the man will just have to do what he can to live his own life, to implement his own boundaries, and to gradually break away from his mother, to deal with his own fears of being abandoned and the pain of being abandoned very early on, because if his mother used him to meet some of her adult and unmet childhood needs, then he would have often been neglected, and the attention that he did receive wouldn't have been the attention that he needed to grow and develop. And so most likely he is going to be carrying a lot of deep emotional pain, emotional wounds deep down. And as he breaks away and lives his own life, he is likely to come into contact with this pain. And back to his mother, he can of course speak to her and explain what is going on, but he can't change her. He can't rescue her, he can't make her have therapy or try to fix her himself. The only thing that he can do is to implement his boundaries, be clear with his mother, and to live his own life. And so if you're a man and you can relate to this, you are just starting to break away and your mother is reacting negatively and you are coming into contact with a lot of deep wounds, then you may need to reach out for external support so that you can gradually work through your emotional wounds and to gradually live your own life. Because you are not here to focus on your mother, you are here to live your own life and to live a life that is worth living. To find out more about the services that I offer and how I can assist you on your journey, go to www.oliverjrcooper.co.uk or email me at info@oliverjrcooper.co.uk. I'm looking forward to assisting you on your journey.